Hi guys. Well, I promised you a quick update after I had my group meeting about the surgery and everything. My son's very good. And yeah, it went pretty well. I wasn't expecting so many people to be at this group meeting. I thought there'd be like 10. There was about 50. I felt like I was in like a fat person's version of X Factor or something. I'm like, oh my god, there's so many people here. I don't know if they're just going to let everybody do it or if they just choose priority patients or whatever. But I think from what I've heard, if you fit the criteria, like your BMI is right and you've got health problems or you have a family history, then you should get the surgery. It was all in Swedish, and I didn't tell anyone that I was English because I was trying to practice. And luckily, it was like a slideshow. They showed everything about the operation, which I've already read a lot about anyway, so I know how it works. But the nice thing I found was there was a really big focus on nutrition, and knowing how that you were going to have a stomach that is this big. And the main thing they were talking about, they don't do this whole big thing where you have to do 6 weeks of liquids diet beforehand or afterwards even. Just getting used to knowing to have tiny, tiny, tiny portions, small bites, chewing thoroughly, and slowly. You should eat. Take about 40 minutes to have your tiny, tiny little meal, and which is quite different from what I've read on a lot of UK and US sites. So there was, yeah, I didn't go into too much detail about what you do before the surgery, but they didn't mention that there was like any big major liquid diet. But I might do it anyway, just so that I know mentally for me to prepare eating less, and also for the high protein and for getting my organs ready for the surgery and everything. But afterwards, right, it is 7 days of a liquid diet, right? Just 7 days, but that can include things like yogurt and it's Swedish things which they call velling and feel, which you can Google. But velling is basically like baby porridge kind of thing, and you can have light drinks and coffee and tea and stuff, but not milk or sugar, obviously. And that's only for 7 days though, and then you have just 3 days of a pureed diet. So it's your soups and soft proteins and stuff, I guess, pureed vegetables. That's 3 days though, not like 6 weeks. So, and then so the big focus is getting you ready to eat normally again, but just really, really small portions. So it's kind of nice for me because I feel a bit more positive now. Because before it was like I'm never going to be able to eat anything again, say goodbye to food, blah blah blah. I think that's a bit of an extreme kind of way to think. Now I'm thinking, right, I'm just going to be eating food, but smaller portions of it. For example, they're saying that you can eat like wholemeal pasta and rice. I don't think they're suggesting that within the first 6 months, even a year, but they say you can eat that. They really want me to eat vegetables, chicken, fish, tuna. Yeah, that's fish, I know. But it will be, I guess, it's mushy consistency. Like, so you could have like bananas. I'll read you another time. Well, when I'm actually doing it, we'll go through like what I'm actually eating each day, and are things irritating me. Top tip though, one of the surgeons said, when you're trying new foods or problem foods, things that you're not quite sure of, chew thoroughly some green vegetables or salad first. Wait for like 5 minutes, then have that food. So don't just straight away have some whatever it is, something sweet or salty or tangy or whatever. You have because basically it's going to line that tiny bit of stomach that you have. So yeah, that was good. What else was there? Well, basically, the next I didn't find out if I'm going to get the surgery or not. But the rates of success are really good, especially the age group up to 35 has had the least problems. 35 to 55 have a little bit more problems, and so it continues. The older that you get, you have more problems apparently. If you're on medications, you probably have more problems. I don't smoke, which is really good. I used to when I was young. Hell, I used to smoke. And drinking now, I don't as much as I used to, but I still had recently. When I was pregnant, I stopped completely for 2 years, and then we got into this kind of kids have gone to bed, let's have a drink kind of thing. And coming from my British culture, it's not like a glass of wine; it'd be like 3 bottles. But I've already know that that's a problem, and that I can't handle the hangovers, to be honest, anymore. Just can't do it anymore. I'm like, but when I'm clubbing in the UK now with all my old party friends, I'd be like home by 9 o'clock in the evening. I'd be like, I can't do it. But they'd be like, we're not going out till 9:30. I'd be like, oh, I'll be in bed then. So, yeah, I mean, the going out culture, I don't do anymore. But the staying at home, easily getting drunk, having a few beers being like 6 to 8 beers, that is not going to happen. I can't do that anymore. So and they recommend that you don't drink for 6 months anyway. So I'm kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not going to be drinking again. Maybe in 2 or 3 or 4 years I'll have a glass of wine with some food or something. I can't trust myself. I'm like, I would rather be in control, and this is like a good excuse for me. I can say I can't drink because I've had the surgery. It's like, because I always feel embarrassed, when people ask you out for a drink, or they ask you to come and have, in Sweden they call it fika, I've talked about before, which is basically cakes and coffee. At least now, instead of saying I'm on a diet, and people say, oh, you don't need to go on a diet, you're lovely as you are, and you're like, thanks, I am really morbidly obese, so I'll have some cake just for you so you feel better. It's such a weird thing, isn't it? I mean, you should feel confident enough to say no thank you, or people should respect you when you say no thanks, I don't want a massive cake, but you feel like you should eat it for some reason. Anyway, rambling now. But anyway, yeah, so now I can say I can't eat it because I've got a stomach this big. And yeah, so that's good. I'm obviously still pretty positive about it. My meeting is on Tuesday. It's Thursday now, the 17th, I think, of August. Right, so on Tuesday I've got my doctor's meeting. And then I think I find out on that day if I get the surgery. Then I'll be like, yeah, and other things. And if not, I'll be like, oh, this blog's not going to go very far, is it? Yay! But then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep losing the weight anyway, whichever way. So let's think positive. I've got a history of heart disease, bowel disease. Not me, my family. Breast cancer, diabetes. So they better damn well help me. So yeah, next topic I want to talk about on my next vlog is clothes sizes, how quickly can I expect to go down clothes sizes, because it's the beginning of winter here. Well, not winter, autumn really, and I really need a new waterproof coat. But I'm like, well, if I'm going to get my surgery, I suppose I'll just wait and see if I'm going to get my surgery at all. If I'm going to get it, then I may as well just use my old clothes and stuff. But it'd be interesting to hear from you, how quickly you do go down in dress sizes. And then I'll know I can save up my pennies and go and buy some in the January sales. Ooh, that's exciting. But it's great that all you guys are following me. Thanks a lot again to Diva Tonya, who's been sort of spreading my word. Woo! And giving me lots of good advice as well. And I'm at the stage now of not being able to really give you much advice, but just kind of giving you my story. But I hope I can. I think it's a bit patronizing to say that I can give you advice. I'm pre-op. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I think I'm just trying to be positive and approachable and connecting with people, which is all I can do. So thanks guys for listening to me babbling on again, and I'll let you know if I'm going to get my surgery next week. So keep in contact with me. Contact me on Facebook or on YouTube. Bye.